We bought one of the worst tipper trucks money can buy.
And this was so unexpected because when we first picked this thing up, it seems to be running fine.
Oh, first time!
But we have a dream to one day take this abandoned truck all the way to Italy for a project abroad. So we had to be sure it was good and take it to a professional.
We failed with so many things wrong with this thing.
Oh my
And it doesn't stop there, because on the back of the truck is where we plan to live and sleep in our tiny home. But the tipper truck's bed was completely rotten. And this wood was in no state to hold up a tiny home. And what we found underneath was years of rusty buildup. So for the last 3 weeks, we have been working night and day, attempting to fix everything we can. And alongside doing that, we have been building our customized tiny home, which is now ready to go on the back of the truck. But this poor thing is worse for wear. But in this week's video, we need to make this thing legal to drive, and we'll fingers crossed be driving this home with the tiny home attached for the very first time.
Now, last week was a complete nightmare. We took this tipper for an MOT, which tests if it's road legal, and it failed miserably. Afterwards, we repaired all of those problems that were wrong with it, and took it back to another MOT station afterwards, and it failed even harder.
There's more than before.
There's more than before.
But at least the MOT man was kind enough to share a video of all of the problems.
Shock absorber, lower bush worn, resulting in excessive movement and fouling the bracket. Battery insecure, major defect, MOT failure. Shock absorbers, major defect, MOT failure. Near side registration lamp not working, major defect, MOT failure.
He was absolutely brutal.
Fail.
This is the situation we're in. We've got a tipper that now we have to repair, and we have no idea how to do it because we're not mechanics, but we have to get home by the end of the week because Mum and Dad are going to go on holiday, and we need to look after the dogs. So, we've got a lot of work to do.
So we started this week straight away.
Doesn't get under there.
Because we need to fix all these repairs and then take the truck back to an MOT, and fingers crossed, this time it will pass.
Hey!
Catch it!
And it was at this point there was no going back. Because with the wheels off the front of the tipper, we could now access the first MOT failure.
Somewhere in there's a shock absorber, and we need to get it.
From the video, it looks like the part is this moldy bit here.
And to my surprise, looking back at the video the MOT man sent us, it looked the exact same.
This part here is the problem that caused us to fail our MOT.
This part of the vehicle is called a shock absorber, and it plays a vital role in keeping everything running smooth. Without it, you'd feel every single pothole 10 times more, and sometimes if they're really big, you'd end up flying in the sky.
It looks like it's held on with one bolt here and one bolt at the top here.
So now we found the part and figured out how it's connected, it's time to start demolishing.
It looks so weird.
That's so mad. You can literally access everything.
Which was a bit of luck because now it's time to start taking it apart. And of course, the first bolt we tackle is seized on with rust. So we brought out plan B.
I can't believe the first blinking bolt we encountered had to get cut off.
But in a positive light, since cutting off this bolt, we now had some movement to our shock.
This has a bit of movement to it. So,
Some movement.
I think we just got to get that bottom one off.
And to our surprise, this bottom bolt played ball a little bit nicer.
Oh!
And then the second we removed this shock absorber from the thing, we could now see it in all its glory.
He's so ugly.
Oh, he's so ugly. Look. So this is the old shock absorber, and we've just found the reason it failed its MOT.
Now, I don't know anything about mechanics, but judging by the way it should be looking, this one is past its prime.
So now, in order to fix this problem and solve the first MOT failure, all we've got to do is somehow
Bolt that
back into
place.
I am a genius. That's a mechanic if you've ever seen one.
So the first thing has been ticked off our list. A brand new pucker shock absorber. But then we learned something about cars in general that we never expected. And that's all thanks to Shane. He's an actual mechanic who is working alongside us to help us and oversee all the work we do.
Is it right to believe that it's probably best to replace all the shocks if you replace one?
Yeah, one side's worn out more than the other. It's not going to have the same kind of do it on both sides.
So basically, by replacing all of them at the same time, it's going to handle way better and make it way safer to drive, which is exactly what we need in order to get to Italy.
And the second we checked out the rest of the shock absorbers, we noticed they're all bad.
Oh, it's all slipped out.
It's literally falling out.
It's slipped out with shocks. It's wobbly inside of it. How did it not fail that one? So it turns out after replacing one shock, we just started to look at the rest of them, and they are completely all shot.
So we had no other choice apart from to replace the rest. And I'm so glad we're replacing these back ones because this is where the tiny home's gonna sit. And if we didn't replace it, with the added weight of the tiny home, the old shocks would have just snapped out. And I don't even want to imagine how that would look in real life. But regardless, with all the old shocks off the tipper and the new ones on, all that was left to do now was to test drive it and see how it worked.
And now, let's test the old shocks out. Ready for this? Oh, maybe not. Oh, yo, that feels way more pucker.
Yo, it's way less like this.
Try a pothole. What? Oh, didn't even feel it. Oh, let's try a curb.
Okay, a bit jolty.
Don't go up curbs. Yeah, that's nice.
Yo, that was so
Yeah,
sick.
major upgrades, baby. One problem at a time, it's getting more pucker.
And that leads us on to the next problem. And to tackle this one, we had to remove the back two wheels.
Oh, all right, and now we have access to the next problem. And this one seems to be pretty bad. So you may remember in the last episode, we spent about 15 minutes down here hitting and putting the handbrake on, hitting and putting the handbrake on. It seems like our repetitive motion has loosened up the handbrake, which has meant that this is what happened when we got the handbrake test in the MOT.
This is a handbrake test at the MOT Centre. It essentially tests how strong they are. And to pass this test, you need to be reaching numbers of 300 minimum. And we were nowhere near. And this problem could be dialed down to two potential issues. The handbrake cable itself, or worse, the calipers are seized. And by rewatching the MOT video, I think we got the answer.
The brake hose twisted, and when the parking brake is applied, it's fouling onto the lever there. It's getting pulled in this direction, and it starts to foul the brake pipe. So the twist needs to be taken. That's a major defect, MOT failure.
So here is our culprit, a twisted hose. And this hose plays a vital role in the vehicle's braking system. It's the thing that connects the rigid brake lines to the calipers itself, supplying the pressurized brake fluid to the brakes. But untwisting this still didn't fix the problem. Even after we applied the handbrake, the brakes still weren't applying. At this point, we've been fighting problems for the last 12 hours, and in all honesty, we were completely clueless. That was until the morning hit. In the daylight, you could see a problem that has been hiding right in front of our faces. The handbrake cable itself. I guess we're learning firsthand why we shouldn't have bought a rusted, abandoned tipper. Turns out when a vehicle's cheap, there's definitely a reason. But we're just in too deep. The tiny home's customized for the back of the truck, and we have already fixed so many problems with this tipper that we can't just give up now. Yeah! Our trip to Italy just has to happen. It would be the ultimate payoff.
However, we're waiting for this part for time being, and we've got to move on to more problems on the MOT because this thing is full of them.
Now, the next major fail was actually our battery. And at first, it doesn't look like anything's wrong with it, but then you go and pick it up, and it's literally about to fall off, to be honest.
We've been driving this thing with a loose battery for ages.
Yeah, this at any point could have just fell off the tipper and, landed on the road, and I don't really need to tell you why that's a problem.
So it turns out our battery's been loose because of this singular bolt. But in good news, it was a very simple fix. All we had to do was push it back and tighten it up and clamp it down.
Oh, that's solid. That's pucker.
That's way better.
However, upon further inspection, we did notice that our terminal
Yo, our
was-
negative is literally just spinning.
And that now explains why earlier on, yesterday, it was struggling to start.
Oh,
Maybe not.
yeah, it didn't even start.
And it turns out that this battery has something to do with it. We didn't realize it, but our O-rings could just get pulled off. And when we looked at them, they were snapped in half. Is there anything right with this tipper? And so at this point, we're really starting to question it. But at least once we swap this new battery connector out, this vehicle should start pucker.
It's so much better.
We did something!
Our tipper now starts pucker, and the battery is secure.
It's now time we can work on the final problem other than the brake itself, and that is back here. These things don't work and have no bulbs in them. So let's fix it.
So after further inspection, inside all the metal's all corroded, so our light bulbs aren't going to work to it, so the whole thing's got to come off.
And just like the rest of the nuts and bolts on this thing, they're seized on, so we're cutting them off.
Oh! There we are. That's the one that came off, and then this is the new one.
And now we remove the old one, we can start fitting this pucker new one. Adding back all the old bulbs and then replacing the cover to make it look brand blinking new again. This is such a small minor upgrade, but things like this just fail the MOT. But now they're all replaced, we have no problems in this department.
Wait, we're blinky!
Yay! And we got our number plate lights working pucker as well. All right, it's now later on in the evening. However, we have got some good news, and that is...
Our brake cables arrived.
Way! Which now means we can tackle the final problem on the MOT slip, and then tomorrow, fingers crossed if it all goes well tonight, we can take this thing for an MOT and see if it passes.
So Shane has just left us, and he sort of explained what we need to do, and he said it should be an easy enough fix for us idiots to do. So we're going to attempt to fix this brake cable ourselves. Oh, wish us luck.
As I mentioned earlier, the handbrake cable leads all the way from the part we all know down to the handbrake cable that's rigid.
Which then lead to these final curly cables which lead directly to the back brakes. And that's what stops the car from moving on a hill. And this is the part that we need to replace because ours has snapped.
But in order to remove the lower parts of the handbrake cables, we have to apply slack on the top half. And that's done by loosening a top bolt. And then we can separate the rigid part from the bit that we need to replace. And now we had the broken part of the handbrake cable separated, we can remove it from the vehicle. This was quite difficult to do, so we got the boys from the machine shop to help us out. But replacing the old one with the new one was far easier. And now the new one was in, all we had to do was go back to the rigid part.
Last bit of tightening up.
On the main beam.
And tighten up all them bolts that we slacked off earlier.
So then the next morning, all we have to do now is give it a good old test. Yay! Handbrake's fixed! Definitely works! It's definitely working.
And now, that means all the problems are fixed, and it's time to take it to the MOT.
Right. Wow. All right. Here we go, baby. Time for the MOT. This time, it cannot fail.
I don't know how you
There's no
sound
chance.
excited.
Look, because we've done all the repairs and now it's happening. And all we've got to do now is start it. Ready? Yeah! First time!
And now this is what all our work has dialed down to.
I'm nervous. I'm pooing myself, but I'm pretty confident this time. Yeah. Now, the reason why this MOT is so important, we are planning to take this vehicle to Italy at the end of this project with the tiny home on the back of it to live from and use this vehicle to help renovate an abandoned barn into our family's dream holiday home. This MOT means more than just an MOT.
And it all dials down to this one moment. After the hours of repair, the working late in the cold, dark rain, the wins we've all shared, and the tough moments we've all overcome, everything dials down to this one test.
Oh, there it is. She's finished her MOT. We're about to go in there and see if this thing's passed or not. No, we got it. Oh, there she is. Oh, what's the verdict?
Failed.
No, it hasn't.
No, why this up?
Brake hose is leaking at the back. It's leaking brake fluid.
Oh.
Our MOT has only just gone and failed for the third time.
No! It failed again! That sucks.
But this time, it was our fault. Damn. We made a repair that wasn't fully fixed. The twisted brake hose. Because even though we untwisted it by taking the caliper off and turning it upside down, we ended up making this hose actually leak.
I've had a phone call from the MOT centre and they've told me that they're going to assess the situation for us because they can see how devastated we are and they're going to attempt to try and help us out and fix the situation because we can't drive this away right now because it's got a chance that it might just get seized on and we'll spin out. So we've left it there for now and they're going to give us a call back.
Fingers crossed they can try and fix it.
Maybe we get this thing re-MOT'd tonight. I just don't know.
I literally don't know.
At this point, we felt completely hopeless. We needed the centre to help us out.
Hello?
Hello, mate. All right. I'm just to clarify, are you going to attempt to fix that thing today?
It's fixing.
It's fixing.
Yeah, waiting.
Seems like it's fixing.
It seems like it's fixing, but the thing is, we all know with this tipper, it's just not a guarantee. Like, well, he's going to fix the brake fluid, and I bet the clutch is going to start fucking falling apart.
Josh. Shut up.
Don't jinx it. MOT history.
Oh my god. Yo, that's sick, man!
It's official! The MOT has finally passed.
And there she is.
And with this most recent news, we can now legally drive her for the very first
Start
time.
up for the first time with an MOT. She's legal. We're winning. Woohoo!
The lighting looks so bad. It does. But we have done everything. Guys, we got this past an MOT after the fourth
baby.
attempt. This thing's passed.
But we've done it.
just taxed it. Everything's good. All insured.
And we're driving.
This tip is free.
For the first time in a load of years, this abandoned tipper is driving on the UK roads completely legally. And looking back on the state of it when we first picked it up, this is just crazy.
We're free
To go anywhere.
to go anywhere in this.
Tipper can go.
And maybe we spoke a little too soon.
Guys, I've got some terrible news. We literally just went to start the engine of the tipper and got back from the MOT all happy, and a massive red oil light sat on the dash. I just told Shane that we have the oil light come on, and he has got straight to ripping out. I didn't record anything because I just didn't expect anything to happen. And look how much of the engine Shane has taken out. Look at it. Just look at this. A minute ago, we had passed that MOT. It's dead.
Don't say that.
What do you mean it's dead? So you can't just walk away. You need to explain to the viewers, Shane. What's going on?
It's an oil pressure issue. The sensors are fine, which means I've got to do further tests to find out if it's engine pump issue or engine itself or turbo.
So best case scenario,
Hopefully an oil pump,
worst case scenario,
new engine or new truck.
new engine or new truck.
This is as serious as it gets. An oil problem is one of the worst things that can happen to a vehicle. And we're gonna need all the luck in the world for our tiny home dream to continue.